Hello everyone, my name is Chief Landless, and I'm bringing you guys another Modern Warfare 3 gameplay commentary. I hope you guys enjoy. This is another MOAB gameplay, playing some kill confirmed on the map Baccarat? Question mark? I'm not too sure if anybody actually really knows how to pronounce the name of this map, so forgive me if you guys do know and you're like, oh my god, Chief, you're such an idiot. But without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy the gameplay as always. Playing against a bunch of lower levels, you know, not necessarily noobs, but they definitely proved out to be noobs. But in my opinion, levels don't mean diddly squat. You know, the levels mean absolutely nothing. There's no reflection over skill, and it's just, you never know. There could be those one people that actually decided to reset their stats, which I have come across a few people as of the latest double XP weekend, which I still scratch my head on why anyone would use a prestige token to reset all their stats and go back down to zero. Just whatever, that's your choice, that's your own cup of tea. That not for me to judge, but I would probably never do that. I just don't have the time to do that. I just feel like a waste. But without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy the gameplay as always. And without further ado, let's move along onto this topic of the commentary, as you guys have seen from the title. Now, this topic's going to be all about the future consoles, you know. So let's call them, you know, as they've been rumored to be called, the Xbox 720, just, you know, to simplify it so everybody understands which console I'm talking about, and the PlayStation 4, or as they're calling it, the Orbis, I believe, which is the rumored stuff with all the leaked information that just, you know what, people really need to beef up the security, or just, you know, not have it so easily changed from changing a private page to a public page. It's just ridiculous how much information just gets leaked nowadays, you know, with consoles, games, and stuff like that. It's just ridiculous. People need to beef up the security, but you know what, maybe it's a whole new marketing scheme of just like, whoopsie, I hit public. Oh, okay, let's get everybody excited a little bit earlier and start teasing them with a little bit here and there. But hopefully you guys, you know, understand what I'm talking about here in this topic. So without further ado, I'm going to be talking about things that are not related to, you know, specs. We all understand the specs. There's a huge spec war that just leads on to console wars. Let's all just move along and move aside and definitely agree the N64 is the best console ever. I'm just kidding. All consoles are awesome, but we all know, you know, PS4 kind of focus more on their graphics and stuff like that and their Blu-ray, whereas Xbox focused on their live component and blah, 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 blah. No console's better than the other. So I'm not going to talk about specs of these future consoles. Let's just talk about what they're planning to do. Now, there's been definitely a lot of rumors, especially with the latest, you know, PS4 leak, information leak, that is, you know, getting a lot of people concerned. First of all, PlayStation 4 has some sort of information leak that they're saying they will not be backwards compatible. For those who do not know what backwards compatible means, it means you can pop in a PlayStation 3 disc into your PlayStation 4 and it'll be able to play. Now, this is probably one of the newer, you know, the newest trend of ways to do to get more money out of their customers. It's, you know, forces you guys to buy the game for, you know, a newer console. You never know, they might actually start releasing games for PlayStation 3, you know, when the transition comes, and as well as PlayStation 4, so you kind of have to make that choice. You have to make that gamble. Are you going to buy the next console? Are you going to stay up to date? Or are you going to have to buy the same game for just a different console to play on it? It's just a whole new money-grabbing scheme, but I really, absolutely hate this idea coming from a gamer's perspective. Now, I absolutely love backwards compatibility. To be honest, most of the time that I ever played on the Nintendo Wii, which isn't much, most of the time I actually spent playing GameCube games. I'd pop in my favorite, basically was Super Smash Bros. Melee, and played it on the Wii rather, and I actually used the GameCube controller instead. It was just, I never really was a fan of the Wii games, other than maybe Super Mario Party or whatever. I don't know. Forgive me if I said the name wrong. I haven't touched a Wii in forever. And so yeah, I really enjoyed the backwards compatibility. That Xbox 360 has had backwards compatibility, but it wasn't 100% supported simply because, you know, sometimes Xbox Live wasn't around then, and certain games, you know, can't use the dashboard and stuff like that, which is understandable. There's at least some sort of backwards compatibility. I really hate the idea that they might be abandoning backwards compatibility for PlayStation 4, even though I don't have I'm not a PlayStation dude, but that probably means Xbox may follow suit. So, I don't know, let me guys know what you guys think about backwards compatibility, and let's move on to the next one here. Sorry, clear my throat as I get the MOAB here. But, the next idea is, what about used games? Now, lately there's been a trend, especially with a lot of EA games, is where you need to buy a new game to be able to play it online, because there is an activation code. Essentially, you open up the disc, there's a, you know, peel, sticker, scratch and sniff, whatever you want to call it. You peel the pull tab, and there's a code. You redeem it so you can play online multiplayer. As pretty much that's the main thing that everybody buys video games for nowadays, is the online multiplayer. And now they're starting to release, hey, starting to realize rather, hey, we're losing a lot of money on this used game market, which gamers love. I absolutely love the idea of used games, especially rentals, as even though the rental industry is definitely gone downhill, but it's a great way to test out a game and see whether or not it is worth worth the $60 price tag. As I've definitely used it a few times when I've been sick for weeks. You know, I've had surgery, blah blah blah. Wisdom Teeth was a perfect example. I went and rented Transformers War for Cybertron. Absolutely loved it. Unfortunately, never went and bought it just because I didn't have the money at the time. But I really enjoyed the idea of used games. But a lot of developers realize they're losing out a lot of money on this. And so they're releasing activation codes, and now it's going to be rumored that the next generation consoles, Xbox 720 and PlayStation 4, may not even support used games, as in, you know, the console would be like, spit it out, like, no, sorry, it's a used game, blah, blah, blah. It's tied down to a PSN ID or tied down to an Xbox gamer tag, which is kind of sucks, and definitely would bring on a burden to the retail store industry. Think about EB Games or Electronics Boutique, as they're sometimes still called, and retail stores like that. They will definitely lose out a lot of money, as that is where they get most of their revenue from, because, you know, they buy used games for ridiculously dirt cheap prices, which I do not agree upon, but then they resell it close to retail value because they have to make a profit. They have to stay alive, and I don't like that feature. But hey, it's a cost to pay. But what your options are kind of slim now, especially since the rental industry like Rogers Video and Blockbuster are out of business. So what does that mean? There's definitely been rumors that EB Games may not even sell the PlayStation 4 or maybe an Xbox 720 just because, hey, you know, they're going to lose a lot of retail. They're going to kind of boycott. I'm not too sure. These are all rumors and speculations, but it's definitely a growing, you know, idea, as it's nothing we're not already sort of used to. It's being slowly phased in into a lot of games lately. So I don't know. Let me guys know what you guys stand on the opinions of backwards compatibility and used game argument. What do you guys think? I understand there's both sides of the argument, the business side, and then there's also the gamer's perspective. You can't please both, but who knows? Hopefully they'll make the right decision, and you know what? Maybe you never know. Maybe people will just not even care about used games, as everything may become downloadable, kind of like how Steam does on PC. But yep, without further ado, hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay as always, and I'll catch you guys next time. This is Chief Lana signing out. Geronimo!